Hey everybody, what's up? Hope you guys are having a good day today, and time again for our continuation in the series of my favorite lakes, state by state, of the lakes that I fished. And, you know, some of these states have got, more famous lakes than others. Like I said, I've probably fished in, probably 40 different states across the country, and we've done probably half a dozen of these so far, so I'm sort of going over the bigger states to start out with. And today's topic is the state of Tennessee. And man, Tennessee's got a lot of good fishing in it. It's got a lot of good smallmouth fishing in it, especially some of the central, Tennessee lakes on there. A lot of stuff, a lot of those good eastern Tennessee lakes. They're heavily fished. I mean, there's a lot of tournament angling pressure on the Tennessee lakes, but they are everywhere. But Tennessee has got a lot of really high caliber, highly skilled anglers that fish these things. And I've fished a lot throughout the state, and I'm going to give you my favorite and my least favorite lake. So anyway, my favorite lake in the state of Tennessee, and like I said, this is probably going to surprise some people, but Old Hickory Lake is my favorite lake in Tennessee. It's located just outside of the Nashville, Tennessee there. And it's not like the greatest fishery in the world. I mean, it's not. I'd led a Bassmaster Top 150 down there one year with almost 20 pounds, but that was like an exceptional bag. Most of the time, you're dealing with low to mid-teens as far as a good bag down there. And I like it like that, though. I like those fisheries that are a little bit tough, as far as a tournament fishery, that is. A little bit tough, a little bit challenging, where you really have to get dialed into specific techniques or patterns to do well. I never have cared for those lakes that are just hog fests all the time on that. But a couple different reasons I like Old Hickory. First of all, the fish is pretty big. It's sort of a river type lake. It's really long. You got a lot of current throughout the whole lake, and you got a lot of diversity and cover on the thing. When you're on the lower end of the lake, you got a lot of bluffy banks, you got a lot of boat docks to fish, you got some main river ledges, you got some shallow humps off the main river, you got a lot of shallow wood. And as you get up the lake, it's the same thing. It gets even more riverine, you get more rock and wood, you got a lot of log jams, that type of stuff, shallow docks, lots of shallow creeks on there. So there's a tremendous amount of options for anglers. I mean, you can fish some offshore ledges there, you can fish docks, you can fish shallow if you want to, you can run way up the river, to the next dam if you want to. So I just really like the way it fishes and lays out. It's one of those lakes that, even though it's not like a really big lake, it fishes pretty big because there's not a lot of dead water on it. Old Hickory is rare in the sense that most river type lakes, they have a lot of dead water on them. But Lake Hickory, it's like literally you can just about catch one anywhere you put your trolling motor down. And that's sort of my judge of a good fishery, is how fishable it is for everybody. But like I said, it's not probably one of the most famous or popular lakes in the country, but it's definitely my favorite lake in the state of Tennessee. Now, my least favorite lake is probably going to surprise you too, because it's known as a hog lake and it's got more notoriety than anything, and that's Lake Chickamauga. I cannot stand fishing Lake Chickamauga. I mean, I fished my very first Bassmasters Classic there in 1986. I fished a lot of other tournaments throughout the course of my career in Chickamauga, and I have never had a good tournament there, ever. It's like, I don't think that I think it's probably the only lake I've ever fished in my career where we've had multiple events there that I've never made a check at. And it's not that I don't like fishing the stuff that's there. I mean, it's got a combination of offshore and shallow cover to be fished, but for some reason, I'm just sort of out of sync with that lake. I don't know what it is. One of the things that I really don't like about Chickamauga is most of the times that I fish there, it's been during the post-spawn in the summertime of the year. And when you're there that time of year, Chickamauga is all about community holes. And we all know that the TVA lakes are like that. Lake Kentucky Lake's probably the worst. But Chickamauga, what makes it so bad is there's not a lot of good community holes there, and everybody gets piled up on top of each other. And there's usually what happens at Chickamauga, it's one of those deals where it's a top-heavy tournament. Some dude gets on some offshore shell bed or drop, and he blows the tournament out, and everybody else struggles. Where, like a lake like Old Hickory, it's a lot more even across the field. And the thing about it is, you can fish other ways there. Like, you can fish shallow grass and docks and laydowns and whatever, but you can't win doing that most of the year. The only time that you can win doing some of the other stuff is like during the pre-spawn, and very seldom are the tournaments there. But another reason I don't like Chickamauga, it's right outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Super hectic, super busy. I don't like seeing that nuclear power plant there. There's something that's sort of creepy about seeing that thing on the shore of the lake for some reason. And I just don't like it, man. I'm sorry if you guys fish Chickamauga. A lot of guys have caught giants there. A lot of guys have caught double-digit bass there. But and I've caught good bags there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've caught some big fish on Chickamauga, and I've caught some big individual daily bags. But I've never been able to back it up every day of the tournament. So personally, this is just my own personal preference. I just assume never see Chickamauga again in a tournament. I'd much rather be at Old Hickory up there. But honorable mention, I really like fishing Lake Douglas. I like fishing Lake Fort Loudon. Fort Loudon's a really good lake. It's a sort of a tough lake. Fish is small, but I like the way it lays out. Just state's got a lot of good lakes overall in it. But anyway, that's my two. Old Hickory, my favorite. Chickamauga, my least favorite. And let me know what you guys think, man. You guys are from Tennessee or have fished Tennessee. Let me know what your guys' favorite and least favorite lake is. I'll be curious to hear that. So anyway, there it is. Hope you guys are doing good, and we'll talk to y'all later on. See you.